May we learn together in hope and joy. Please be seated. It would be the absolute height of hubris on my part to suggest that anything in the following 7.5 minutes, you can time me, Earl, 7.5 minutes, there will be anything as profound or as beautiful as what we have seen and what we have heard already. So I'll tell a silly story. A long, long time ago, I was an undergraduate student. And being perhaps more foolish than I am now, perhaps less foolish, I don't know, I decided that I wanted to challenge myself by taking 21 credit hours, 7 classes. Those of you that are an undergraduate or have experienced that realize that's really dumb. Real dumb. But hubris, right? I'm not good at that. So I took these classes and we hung on during the semester. We did our best. We read very little, just the minimum to get by. But then came, I was pointing to the teacher in the choir there to appreciate that. Then came finals week. 7 finals in 4 days. And on the last day of finals, 3 exams, one of which started at 8 o'clock. And this was the toughie. The one that when you talk to students who had taken this before, they're like, oh, this is brutal. Just make sure you got a nice high grade before you bomb that final. And so I was running, friends, not unlike today, on caffeine and anxiety. You know the feeling? Studying as best as I possibly could. And then, about 10 o'clock that night, I reached the point where I had to decide, can I get anything more in here, or is a few hours of sleep what I need? And then, friends, I heard a ding. The most glorious ding I have ever heard of my school email. Why in the world would I be getting an email from the school at 10 o'clock at night? The professor was in the hospital and the final was canceled. I'm not saying, Father, that I prayed for his demise. But however the Lord chooses, in the Lord's infinite wisdom, to answer our prayers, on the very precipice of failure, I was, and then, dare I say, salvation. That is a silly story. It pales in comparison to the stories that we heard earlier. To the story of the Israelites who crossed the Red Sea, and then as they were on the edge of the sea, saw Pharaoh's army in chariots chasing them, and in the moment that they thought that all was lost, God commanded the waves. So many moments, like the women going to the tomb, thinking all was lost. What were the men doing? Forgive me if this is sexist. What were the men doing? The women got to work. Because sometimes when everything collapses, you got to get to work, yeah? And usually, well, we won't continue that thought. You know how that goes. And they get to the tomb, and there are men in dazzling white who ask the question, why do you look for the living among the dead? This service, this great vigil of Easter, has the glorious shape of coming to the moment of despair, and then the lights come on, and salvation is found. And I imagine that for many of us, we are at different points in that journey, and there is truth for all of us to hold on to. Maybe you're in, forgive me, the darkness. And it's just put one foot in front of the other time. And it's just breathe in and breathe out, and have I eaten today? You've been there, yeah? Friends, look up, and you will see on that far distant shore salvation. Or maybe you're in what I think might be the tougher position, where you've done a lot of marching, and I see the end in sight, and I'm reaching for it like I have my little dinky candle, and I can't quite reach it. And then someone comes with a tool to help. Maybe that's who you are. Or maybe, and I really hope this is where you are like Zephaniah, and you have experienced that resurrection, you have experienced that salvation, and all you can do is sing praise to God. Hear me when I say this. Wherever you are, Jesus is there. Whatever stage you find yourselves in, you can look to your right and you can look to your left, and you can see Jesus. How do I know that you can see Jesus? Because I can see Rebecca, and I can see David, and I can see Earl. That's 3 shout-outs to you, Earl, in this sermon. You're a rock star. Because when I need to see Jesus, who do I call? You. He's always there. Or if I need to feel Jesus, then I come to the altar and I hold him in my hand. And he's there. Hallelujah. Christ is risen. He is risen.